Some final scores tell you the whole story, right? A blowout, a shutout, you get it. But every once in a while, a score tells you almost nothing about what really went down. Today, we're going to break down one of those games, a thriller between the Dallas Wings and the Indiana Fever that was so much more than just its final tally.
So here it is, 81-80. I mean, on paper, that's the whole game, right? The Wings squeak by the Fever, but that one single point? It's like the last sentence of a wild novel filled with crazy plot twists, unlikely heroes, and some seriously bizarre pregame adventures.
Yeah, that score tells you nothing about the absolute roller coaster this game was. It doesn't capture the massive comeback, the complete momentum shifts, or, and this is my favorite part, the just plain weird stuff that was happening before anyone even stepped on the court.
So, let's start right there, with all that unscripted stuff. Those curveballs that remind you these incredible athletes are, at the end of the day, human. And sometimes their day gets just as weird as ours does. Okay, so get this. Sophie Cunningham. She's on her way to this huge game. And what happens? Her car breaks down. Just kaput. So what does she do? She walks to the stadium. And the best part? She rolls up just in time for warm-ups. In heels! You can't make this stuff up. It's just this perfect, funny little detail in what was already shaping up to be a pretty chaotic day. All right, so let's get to the game itself, which, believe me, had its own shockwaves. In basketball, momentum is everything. And for one single quarter, the Dallas Wings had, well, all of it. 19-0. Think about that for a second. That was the run. In the third quarter, the Dallas Wings just went on an absolute tear, dropping 19 unanswered points. Look, that's not just good basketball. That is total, utter domination. At that moment, you're thinking, okay, game over, pack it up. And a run like that, it's so much more than just points on a board. It's a psychological weapon, It just completely sucks the life out of one team, while the other one feels like they literally can't miss. The Wings weren't just winning. They had grabbed total mental control of this game. But, and this is what separates a good game from a thriller, just when you think you know how the story ends, a whole new chapter starts. Even after getting completely demoralized and staring down that huge deficit, the Indiana Fever just refused to go away. And just look at the scale of this fight. They were down 17 points. In a pro game, that's a canyon. That feels impossible, and yet they clawed their way all the way back, erasing that massive lead until only a single point was left on the board. I mean, that's just an incredible, unbelievable display of pure resilience. So you're probably asking, how in the world did they do that? Well, a huge piece of that puzzle comes down to one number, 24. That was the game-high point total from the Fever's Kelsey Mitchell. She basically just put the team on her back and willed them back into it, hitting clutch shot after clutch shot.
But leadership isn't always about what's in the box score. There was this super heated moment, right? The comeback is on the line. And an injured Caitlin Clark, who wasn't even playing, she actually steps in from the sideline. She manages to calm her coach down, stopping him from getting a technical foul. Now, that would have been a free throw and the ball for the Wings, a total momentum killer. It was this huge, smart, veteran move that just proves leadership can come from anywhere, even the bench.
Okay, so picture this. You've got the Wings' insane 19-0 run on one side. You've got the Fever's massive 17-point comeback on the other. It all boils down to this frantic, heart-pounding finish. The game is on a knife's edge, and it's all about who can make that one last play.
And really, the ending became this epic duel between two incredible performances. On the Fever side, you had Kelsey Mitchell, who, like we said, just willed her team back into contention with those 24 points. But on the other side, well, the Wings had their own hero who decided to step up right when it mattered most.
And that was Maddy Siegrist. She was the answer for the Wings. She dropped a season-high 22 points, and those weren't just garbage time points. They were the exact shots Dallas needed to slam the door on the Fever's incredible rally. Her performance was the firewall. It's what saved the game for them. Period.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, what do you really see? You see that 81-80? That was just the final note in this wild symphony of chaos, resilience, and pure clutch plays.
This was a game defined by its moments, not its final score.
I mean, just think about all the ingredients that made this thing a classic thriller. You had that completely dominant, game-breaking 19-0 run. Then the unbelievable heart of a comeback from 17 points down. You've got the star player, Kelsey Mitchell, with her heroic effort. But then it's answered by Maddy Siegrist's own clutch performance to seal the deal. And you can't forget the off-court drama. Caitlin's sideline leadership, Sophie's pre-game hike. That's what makes a game unforgettable.
And it really leaves you with a great question, right? In a game that's just jam-packed with these incredible moments, what's the one thing that really defines a thriller for you? Is it that show of pure force, that dominant run? Or is it the underdog story, that heroic comeback against all odds? Or maybe it's all the little unscripted human dramas that happen in between? I think the answer probably says a lot about why you love watching sports in the first place.